16 Nigerian shooters left the shores of the country for the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, but we haven't really seen any of them in action. Is there a particular reason for this? You're watching Sport This Morning on Channels Television, broadcasting live from Lagos. I'm Cecilia Morbe. Here are the headlines. It's another gold medal for Nigeria in weightlifting at the Commonwealth Games as Oluwatoyin Adesomi and Obioma Okoli claimed the first and second place in the women's 63 kg event. Now, while weightlifting already got 6 medals, table tennis will be aiming for their first medal today when Nigeria face India in the bronze medal event. Also on the program, we'll be talking about Tour de France, and after 21 stages, Vincenzo Nibali becomes the first Italian rider since 1998 to win the Tour. All these and more after this highlight from the men's 100 meters event, where all Nigerian athletes book a spot in the semi-finals. Mark Jokes, Mazavos Edwards and Owogene Eguero, all of them getting a spot in the semi-finals later today. Join us again.
Good start on the far side from Jelks of Nigeria. Here comes Thompson closing. Jelks still heads him as they come up towards the line, and Jelks looking around to see where the action is behind him. And Fraser and Thompson crossing together. Thompson may not have been in the first 3 there, and 10.28 given unofficially into a slight headwind the winning time. Great start from Mark Jelks, and that just shows how important it is to get away from the blocks.
Well, I don't know what was happening with Richard Thompson in lane number 5. I don't know whether he took it easy and misjudged it, but he's definitely...
Nigerian in the green vest. Nigerians have been in great form. Let's see what he does here. And Jamili gets out of the blocks well. It's Jamili who leads as they come away down the straight, and Jamili across the line brilliantly. Into a headwind, 0.8 metres per second. Sprinting in the first round, and he put distance between himself and the rest. He's a 200 metres specialist. It may be a scrap between those 3, first 2, to get automatic qualification for the next round. Good start from lane 2 from Walsh, but now powering through. Here comes Simbini of South Africa, and Brown coming back at him. Simbini's going to hold him. Simbini on the line, and Brown was just out of it in 3rd place behind Aguero. Winning time into a slight headwind, 10.32. Akani Simbini, he's safely through as the heat winner.
Good run that from Simbini. He has hit a good vein of form. He's got a best of 24.1 over the 200 this year.
Of a second, he gets the second automatic qualification place behind the South African Aaron Brown, as Rob Walker telling you, likely to make it through as a fastest loser, but we still have 1 heat to go, so still a few nerves are jangling out there.
Good morning. Austin Okonakpan will be joining me much later on the program. But first of all, we'll just look at some of the things I talked about on the headlines. You can, of course, talk to us on our feedback mechanism, talking about Twitter and, of course, Facebook, channels_sport on Facebook, and on Twitter, channels_sport, and my own Twitter handle, success_09. One of the things I talked about earlier on the program, that's on the headlines. Nigeria, of course, weightlifting, getting all the gold medals, supporting Nigeria. How many medals do you think Nigeria can win? And this one, remember in Italy, they won a whole lot of medals, but so far, it's all about the weightlifting. And of course, my intro was on shooting. How come we have not really seen them participating? Austin will join me on the program to talk about it. Was it equipment failure, or what really happened to them? So that also we'll be talking about it on the program. You can talk to us on Twitter and, of course, on Facebook. What do you think about Team Nigeria participation so far at the Commonwealth Games? Of course, you saw the men's 100 meters, 2 American imports. That's how they refer to them. They call them 2 American imports. Talking about Mark Jokes, of course, Edwards, 2 of them getting a spot in the semi-finals, and Owogene Eguero, homegrown talent, also in the semi-finals of the men's 100 meters. But it's not just enough to get to the semi-finals. What is most important is to be at the podium. Gold, silver, or bronze. Anyone definitely will be good for Nigeria. Of course, the women also were in action yesterday, and of course they gave a very, very good account of themselves. They were all the women, not all of them, but Blessing Okagbare made her hopeful because she, was the fastest woman yesterday in the heat. Of course, in all the heat in the first round. And of course, you have a Gloria Sumo also getting the spot, but Justina Sule just couldn't make it to the semi-finals. Let's just take a look at the highlights coming from the 100 meters. Of course, Austin Okonakwan will be joining me.
Good start on the far side from Jelks of Nigeria. Here comes Thompson closing. Jelks still heads him as they come up towards the line, and Jelks looking around to see where the action is behind him.
Nigerian in the green vest. Nigerians have been in great form. Let's see what he does here. And Jamili gets out of the blocks well. It's Jamili who leads as they come away down the straight, and Jamili across the line brilliantly.
It's running outsider. Mashatira, the Indian, with a good time on paper, just needs to keep close order here to make sure of qualification. This is class from George. George leading. Subhashini of Sri Lanka coming well on the outside. She's dragging Mashatiri back into it as well. George actually just tying up a little bit on the line. McPherson knows the rest of the field are trailing in her wake. Good performance. Williams is going well. Second from the inside. But McPherson now is able to ease down. Omatosho is miles clear in second place as well.
She's not been in good form. Keep your eyes on lane number 2. She's going out conservatively as the former world champion. Abdigan of Nigeria in lane number 5, though. There's nothing conservative about her first 200 metres. All Clark from the Bahamas. But sweeping round, 250 metres gone. Moncho of Botswana in lane number 2 has eaten back the stagger on everybody. She looks comfortable into the straight. The defending champion is bringing some form to Glasgow. Shayna Cox of England is going to occupy the 3rd position, and Abigail of Nigeria will take 2nd. 51.89 seconds. Well, Namantra Moncho of Botswana, the defending champion. That's from lane 2. She could see the rest of the field, John, but that looked pretty impressive.
Of course, what she wanted in India, of course, this time around, well, she's also gunning for it because considering the fact that she actually had the fastest time. Well, you have 3 Nigerian girls also qualifying for the 400 meters semi-finals. Regina George, and you have Folashade Abugo and Omolara Omotosho, all of them booking a spot. But one person they should be aware of course, is definitely defending champion from Botswana. She is really on fire. Austin Okonakwan is here. Austin, good morning.
Good morning, Cecilia. Good to be on the program. I'm smiling. 6 medals for Nigeria.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll increase today.
Of course, definitely. Table tennis, that's where the hope is coming in from. Okay, before we get to that, now let's look at the women's 100 meters. Of course, as usual, it was expected. Blessing Okagbare, of course, fantastic as usual. She even had to slow down towards the end of the heat so that at least the women can actually, catch up with her. And Gloria Sumo, of course, she also was wonderful in the 100 meters heat yesterday.
Fantastic. And for Blessing Okagbare, sure bet that she was going to win a heat. And today in the semi-finals, I'm saying that the Blessing Okagbare and Gloria Sumo, they are what it takes to actually get to the final, and that gives Nigeria a competitive edge in the final. For Okagbare, sure bet she was relaxed, and I'm sure she has a strategy for the final so that in case you're trying to go and monitor her or go and watch the video to see the technique, you won't understand. So it was strategic. For Gloria Sumo, we always know that she gets there when we expect that final moment of shine. She actually leans back. But what we saw yesterday, you can see that there's this hunger, there's this desire. That's one thing I've noticed about these games. Everyone want to impress, but let's wait till the final.
Yeah, that's what is important, because I was almost going to talk about that, because sometimes if you just see the way she actually chased down Kambaba, and that was fantastic. That's something you always want her to do. She was able to do it here, and I think that's really cool for her. But if she will be able to get away from it, because if you look at what happened in the women's race, all the Jamaicans in their different races, all of them winning their heat, 3 of them.
Yeah, that's it. You see, she had a good start and then lost it in the middle, towards the home stretch. That pursuit you spoke about was really encouraging, but then you want to expect that sort of chase from the start. She would have actually won that. For the Jamaicans, it's expected, but I'm not worried. I'm not even talking about them. But if Gloria Sumu and Blessing Okagbare makes it to the final, I'm certain that Nigeria can actually get a medal.
Precisely,
I haven't not said anything yet, but I'm certain. I like the approach Okagbare gave to this heat yesterday, and she's staying focused. Today you see the beast in her will come out again to prove to people that Nigeria is here to actually win a medal in the women's 100 meters event.
And just last night, after she won a heat, the parents of Usain Bolt actually, wished her well. They met with her, know that there was only a photograph section and all, and because they were really happy for what she has actually achieved. Judging from the fact that she started at home, that's something that is unique. It simply means we can, no matter what we're going through in athletics and all that, we retain the talent and all that, we really can, of course, get someone from home, and of course, and that person will actually build a medal from home, which is really a good one.
And that's it. For the gesture from the Usain Bolt family, it goes to explain that the world is watching whenever you're doing the right things, and then Blessing Okagbare's consistency has actually earned her international reputation, And when you look at her, every race she's getting better, except when she doesn't just want to take it serious.
Okay.
But with the Commonwealth Games, she knows she has to win a medal.
Okay, well, when we talk about the table tennis, of course, likely they might just get a medal to the bronze medal event. Well, the Secretary General of the Federation, Nigerian Table Tennis Federation, she is on the line with us from Glasgow right now. She really want to talk about what we're expecting from the men. Remember, the women could not just make it to the stage. They were able to make it past the group stage, get to the classification game. They just couldn't make it past that stage. But for the men, of course, they will be playing for the medals. If we can talk to Joyce Ogundare, she's live from Glasgow now. Good morning. Okay. We'll try to reach her much later before she gets into the venue, because it's going to be this morning. Yeah,
it's going to be this morning. It's Nigeria taking on India, and I'm a little bit shaky because the Indians have shown good promise. But let's talk about that men's team that has shown promise at this championship. All they deserve is praise, because they were seeded 4th. And then they made it to the semi-finals, which actually justifies that seeding. A little bit of lucky, but it goes to show that you need more preparations. You need to play more table tennis out there. It was just tactics that the Singaporeans used in defeating Nigeria. And then we actually broke their record, because Aaron Aquadri defeated, what's his name again? Juan Xiang, that has the Singaporeans have never lost a game.
Even in Asian countries, it's always difficult for another country to actually beat them.
I'm excited we dented that record. But then this will make them stronger. For us, when we come back, don't throw away your bats. Don't go and sit there and say no more events till 2 years time. Continue in that light, and hopefully they beat India today to be that sort of motivation I expect from table tennis. They've actually done well. What we need to work on now is the ladies, because I see the talent right there. Inede Mofiong, Cecilia Otuatman, and of course we'll still stop talking about Funke Oshanaike. But there's a lot of promise in that team. It goes to show that we need to start teaching them tactics. We need to start teaching them strategies. We need to give them exposure.
More international competition. We know Table Tennis Federation, they're actually trying, the Lagos Classics and all that, bringing international stars here. But also we can extend that, these girls can also go for outside tournaments, not just for the men alone.
That's it. And the attention has actually been on women's table tennis until the likes of Aaron Aquadri came into the scene, until the likes of Ojo Onoalakpo. You see how young Ojo Onoalakpo, keep talking about it, is just 19. But then he had something to learn from Shegun Torola.